Choosing plants that can cope with and even enjoy a harsh Australian summer can be a daunting task. And if you're wanting to ask for a few selections, I can nearly bet you that 9 times out of 10, people will suggest succulents, cacti, and more succulents. But this isn't a story about drought-tolerant, heat-resistant succulents. This is a story of alternatives and options. After all, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. Plants with silver, grey, bluish-grey, or even white foliage or bark are, as a rule, very tolerant of extremes of heat and drought. The foliage colour tends to act as a bit of a sunscreen, reflecting heat and, importantly, reducing water loss, even in the most challenging of garden situations. This means that they're less likely to wilt or even to carket in times when water is at a premium. They are really proven tough performers. While there are plenty of old-fashioned plants that are really good, things like lavender, salvias or the sages, there's an old favourite that I think is worth considering, and that's Artemisia, or the wormwood. It's a tall, shrubby plant. You can also get smaller varieties. It'll grow in the part shade or full sun, and I love it because of its ferny foliage, grey again, and it's got the most beautiful fragrance. If you strew branches of the wormwood into your chook pen, it's purported to repel insects. Here's a little plant, a native one, that I really love. It's called Chrysocephalum apiculatum. Its common name is easier to understand. It's little yellow buttons, or the common everlasting. It's a lovely compact plant. It hugs the ground, it loves living amongst rocks, and it's a beautiful plant to grow because it has those little yellow button flowers from winter right through into summer. It stands up to full sun, hot, windy, salty spots. Here's something really interesting that I've discovered. This is an unusual plant. It's a salvia discolor, and it's from Peru. And it not only has silver on the back of the leaves, but it has a very felty stem. It's soft to touch. It's absolutely beautiful. And this feltiness is made up of tiny little hairs. And again, that is a characteristic of how the plant can cope with extreme conditions. It's a beautiful plant. It's got really unusual black flowers and a sticky sort of feeling to the new growth. A lovely thing. This is a Stachys, and it's in the lamb's ear family, soft woolly leaves. And the word tomentose is a term that describes these plants because of the hairs or that really velvety feel on the leaves or the stems. I'm not actually quite sure what this Stachys is, but it's beautifully woolly. And what those hairs are doing is trapping air so that it's ventilating the plant and protecting it from a really hot day. And you'll see lots of plants that do this. That Senecio is called Dusty Miller. People used to have it in their garden a lot as a low-growing shrub because it is so tough. You don't see it very much anymore, but let's bring it back into gardens because it is a beauty. I can't stop myself. Just a little bit of tidying up. But this is an interesting plant. This is Cerastium tomentosum. There's the tomentosa again. And it's called snow in summer because in summer it has lovely little white flowers, very close ground cover, tight to the ground, and everywhere that it touches the ground, it'll send down roots. You can see them quite easily. And that'll form a nice matting carpet. It's a beauty. Most wattles are known for their hardiness, but have a look at this amazing one. I've never seen anything like it. It's from Western Australia. It's an Acacia glaucoptera. It's the clay wattle or the flat-leafed wattle because the leaves, or the phyllodes in this case, are exceptionally flat and leathery. You can't believe, feels like an old boot. But the most amazing thing is, look at those little tiny miniature tennis balls that are coming straight out of that phylode. They are just amazing. Nature is extraordinary. A great one for cottage gardens because it flowers just on and on. It's called sea lavender or sea stachys. Limonium is its botanical, and really leathery leaves, clump-forming perennial, and it has these long stems of mauve and white flowers for a very long time, from spring right through to the end of summer. A really tough plant. You won't see many leaves in this form. This is Strelitzia juncea, and it's got perfectly cylindrical leaves. It's a beauty, but again, it is tough, 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 and wonderful to feel. Have a play with that one. It is, of course, the bird of paradise plant. You probably know the Strelitzia regina, which has got the big bird-like flowers. Well, this does also open up into those same spectacular flowers. You could throw anything at this plant and it'll cop it. It is fantastic. Even if you live in an area that's got adverse conditions, don't be put off. Keep on gardening because it's just like those plants. Be adaptable and choose the right plant for the right spot.